Hello, it's Danielle from Vantage, and in the last video we talked about how to create cost reports. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use cost report filters. With cost report filters, you can create reports to show only costs for specific providers like AWS or Azure or Datadog, and also to further filter by options like accounts or cost categories and resources. So let's get started. At the top here, I'm going to click on the Filters button, and then I'll click Add a Filter. You'll select a provider from this list. This will be populated with the various providers that you have connected. So I'll just select AWS here, and then click New Rule. This is the list of parameters that are associated with each provider, so it's going to vary a little bit based on which provider you have selected here. For example, with AWS, I have things like region, resource, billing account, and marketplace. So if I select this option, I can select whether I want to see all costs for which marketplace are excluded or only marketplace purchases. If I select something here like tag, I can see all of my tagged resources and I can filter by specific tags. So I'll select this application tag key. And you'll notice here this operators list has is not, contains, and does not contain. So I can really specify the filter query options that I want for this particular filter. So if I select is, and then I can select a particular value. I can also add multiple tags here, so I can have this application is Aurora and application is DataStream. I can also add additional rules. So you'll notice this is a very human readable way of filtering where it's from AWS, where this criteria, and maybe if I want to do just a whole other tag, the environment tag with a value of production. So it's going to show me costs from AWS where both this piece of criteria and this piece of criteria are true. If I want, I can add an additional filter. So this is going to be all costs from this set of criteria or costs from this set of criteria. So I could add a whole new provider like Datadog, and I can select relevant options for Datadog as well. If I want to remove a filter criteria or filter options, I can just click delete right here or the trash can next to any of these items. So how do we bring what we previously learned as well as what we're learning right now together? So let's say I want to create a report that looks at one of my applications for the past 6 months. I want to see exactly what the application has been costing and what are the types of costs it's incurring. I'm going to first create an AWS filter that searches for costs tagged by the Data Explorer app. So let's make this application is Data Explorer. And then I'm going to also add a filter for Datadog because I also have some resources that are tagged by this application as well in Datadog. So let's add tag key, application is Data Explorer. And now what I can do is let's group by service and let's group by category. And I'm going to make this a bar chart for easier viewing on my side. And let's update this date range to be for the last 3 months. Let's bin the dates to be weekly. Now I can see some initial data here. As I start to dig into each cost, I can see I have really high overall EC2 data transfer costs and some network monitoring costs, which could also be the result of activity monitoring here. I can really start to play around with seeing how each cost compares here and go in depth into cross-provider view of costs and just get this good longitudinal view of all of my costs. I can also click down on this other costs field here and click show more items so I can get all of the different grouped costs. Use these filters along with the grouping criteria and options presented in the last video, and you can create reports that drill down across multiple providers and criteria. Before we wrap up, I wanted to add a quick update since this video was first recorded. We recently added a new operator called Flexible Match, which makes it easier to work with inconsistent tag values. This operator is available on cost reports, segment reports, and in virtual tags, so you can check out those videos for details on how to use those features. So here's how it works. When you use Flexible Match, Vantage will make the string case insensitive, remove any white space, and remove punctuation and interstring separators like hyphens, underscores, slashes, periods, colons, and semicolons. So let's say you're filtering on a tag value like capital Team A that's part of a Teams tag across your environment. You might see it appear as some of these variations below. And with flexible match, all of those normalize to the same thing, so a single filter will match every one of these variations. No need to create separate filters. And just to be clear, flexible match doesn't check for different spellings. It only removes casing, white space, and punctuation. But for messy tag formatting, it makes filtering a whole lot smoother. So from the filtering menu, we'll search for the team tag with a flexible match operator of Team A. And in this report, I also grouped by the original tag to show the values it evaluates to, so you can see all these iterations matched with the filtering. And if you want to exclude these variants, you can use the does not flexible match operator instead. And that's a view of cost reports. Check out the other videos for tips on how to drill down and see the data you want to see.